Hello again, our most valued student. My name is Confident and welcome to Egorolen Takes 24-minute lesson. Our lesson today will be focusing on equations, which we did in the previous lesson, as well as the subject of formula. That is the change of subject of formula. So we are going to look in solving equations with square roots. We are going to look at change of subject of formula as well as substitution in the formula. Now quickly let's continue on our equations. Given a question to say solve for x. Now when you're given such a question to solve for x, the most important thing to consider is the square root this time that you're given. Also, apart from the square root, there are a few things that you need to understand. There is a 1 plus. This 1 plus is something that you need to take into consideration, because if you don't deal with it carefully, it will make your answer or your solution wrong. So the best thing you need to do is to make 1 jump the sign so that it can join 2. So what I'm going to have, it's x minus 2 is equal to 1 plus square root of x plus 2. So when 1 jumps the sign, you're going to have x minus 2 minus 1 is equal to square root of x plus 2. Now you're going to have x minus 3 is equal to square root of x plus 2. When you have done this, this is the most important part, whereby you will have one side on the other side and one side on your right hand side. When you have got this, now what you need to do to get rid of the square root, you need to say x minus 3, you square the side, is same as square root of x plus 2, you also square the side. Remember what you do on the left, you also do on the right. Now when you have done that, you are going to have now, because this one is x minus 3, because it's a square, it means it's happening twice, x minus 3 is equal to x plus 2. That is how you get rid of the square root. This is now a normal algebraic problem. You have to expand. Now you have to expand. X multiplies that, x multiplies 3. This one multiplies, this one multiplies. So you are going to have x squared minus 3x minus 3x plus 9 is equal to x plus 2. Moving on, you are going to have, if you collect like terms, you will have x squared minus 3x minus 3x. This x will jump the sign to become also minus x plus 9. The 2 will also jump the sign to become minus 2 equal to 0. So what are you going to have now? You are going to have x squared minus 3x minus 3x minus x is minus 7x plus 9 minus 2 is 7 is equal to 0. Now the next thing that you need to do is to solve that particular quadratic equation. So in this particular quadratic equation, we are looking for two numbers. When you multiply them, they will give you a 7, and when you add them, they will give you a 7. In this case, you don't have that number, so you can quickly go through the quadratic formula, which says what? X is equal to plus, I think it's minus b, plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now what is your a? It's 1. Your b is minus 7 and your c is equal to 7. So x will become minus 7 plus or minus square root of minus 7 squared minus 4. A is a 1 and the c is a 7 all over 2 times 1. Now when you use a calculator, then you will have two values of x, in which the first one x is equal to then your x will become x is equal to 5.79 or x is equal to 1,21 using the quadratic formula. Now let us look on and look at a problem like this one. It says square root of x plus that, so you've got square root of x plus minus 6 over square root of x is equal to a 1. The first thing you have to see is we have a fraction, and this particular fraction, how can you get rid of it? You can get rid of it by multiplying everything by this square root of x. So you're going to have square root of x multiplied by square root of x plus minus 6 over square root of x multiplied by square root of x. Remember, I'm multiplying by everything by square root of x is equal to 1 multiplied by square root of x. Why? Because when you've done that, you are trying to get rid of that fraction. Now, square root of x and the square root of x, you'll get an x minus 6 is equal to square root of x. Now, when you have done that, if I can write it again, x minus 6 is equal to square root of x. X minus 6 is equal to square root of x. Now when you've done that, you are back to the normal way, whereby you square both sides. X minus 6 squared is equal to square root of x, and then you square it. So you are going to have x minus 6 and x minus 6 is equal to x. So what is that? It's x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 36 is equal to x. You make x join the other side. You are going to have x squared minus 6x minus 6x minus x plus 36 is equal to 0. Then you're going to have x squared minus 6 and minus 6 minus 12 minus 13x plus 36 is equal to a 0. And when you solve it by factorizing using product and sum method, you are going to have x minus 9 minus 4. If you say minus 9 minus 4, you get minus 13. Minus 9 times minus 4, you get plus 36. Therefore, x minus 9 is equal to 0. In other ways, x is equal to a 9. Or x minus 4 is equal to 0, meaning x is equal to 4. Now, remember the original question that we given was, if I can come here, they said root of x minus 6 over root of x is equal to a 1. Now you get this, the answer that you got is either x is 9 or x is 4. Let's try 9 for x. In other words, root of 9 minus 6 over root of 9 is equal to, what is square root of 9? Square root of 9 is 3 minus 6 over 3 is equal to 3 minus 2, which is equal to 1. And the solutions are correct. So this is a way of testing if your answer was correct or if your answer was wrong. So here it shows that 9 is correct. You can also do and check with the other one. Now let's move on to the next topic, which says change of subject of formula. When you're changing the subject of formula, for example, to bring in two simple questions here, say you're given 2a plus b is equal to c, and now you need to make a the subject of formula. What do they mean when they say make a the subject of formula? They want you to remain with a on the left hand side of the equation and everything goes to the right hand side of the equation. Already you can see c is on the right side, but now let's take b to join c. It will be 2a is equal to c minus b. Why? Because when b jumps the equal sign, it changes from a positive to a negative. But again, they said make a the subject of formula. A is being combined with the 2 there. So you need to get rid of that 2. How do you get rid of that 2? You divide both sides by 2. When you divide both sides by 2, then you will be having a is equal to c minus b over 2. Then you have made a the subject of the formula. In the other question here, they are saying 2b minus a over 2 is equal to c. They want to again to make a the subject of the formula. Now, as you can see here, you have got a in a fraction form, but a is mixed with a denominator of 2 and there is 2b. The best thing is to remain with a, it is negative also, and let 2b join c, so it will be c minus 2b. When you have done that, now what you can do is you can then see that here you have got a negative a over 2. What you can do, you can multiply by a 2 on both sides. Even here you do this, you multiply by a 2. Why are you doing that? So that this 2 and that 2 will cancel. You will have minus a is equal to, when you multiply by 2, it's better to take a 2 in front, and then you say c minus 2b. Then again you can see that a is still caught up with a negative sign, so you need to get rid of that negative sign. And how do you do? You divide both sides by minus 1. Why? So that, remember, a 1 will not change anything. By dividing by negative, you are ensuring that the negative will go to the other side. Therefore, what you're going to have is a is equal to, this negative will go on top to become minus 2c minus 2b, because the negative is more powerful than the positive 2. So that is what we mean by saying changing the subject of the formula. However, sometimes they become a bit more complicated, as we're going to solve them as they come. Here the question says make c the subject of the formula. Now, what do we see here? We can see that we have got c combined with b on the other side. So how about we take b to join 1 over a? So you're going to have, let me write it again, is 1 over a is equal to 1 over b plus 1 over c. If I take b to join a this side, I'm going to have 1 over a minus 1 over b is equal to 1 over c. When I rewrite this means 1 over c is equal to 1 over a minus 1 over b. Why am I doing that? You know, it's common to always work with what you want on your left hand side. Now, since c is now on the left hand side, we can go on and try to now solve this fraction. Now, in this fraction, the common denominator there is ab, and if the common denominator is ab, a into a is b times 1 minus b into ab, it's a times 1. So what is that? That is 1 over c is equal to, after adding that fraction. So what are you having? You have got 1 over c is equal to b minus a over ab. Just want to show you a quick trick on this. What it means is, whenever you are given something like this, you can cross multiply now, because it's a fraction and a fraction. When you cross multiply, because I'm interested in c, I will start by writing c bracket b minus a is same as 1 times ab, which is like ab. Then you divide by b minus a, what you don't want, b minus a on both sides. When you do that, this will cancel, so you're going to have now your c is equal to ab over b minus a. So that is a way of getting c. But let me rewrite this statement. 1 over c is equal to b. 1 over c is equal to b minus a over ab. There is a simpler way that you can do. What you can do is you take c to the top and you take 1 to the bottom. What are you having? We have got c over 1, which is equal to, remember what you do on the left, you do on the right. You take ab to the top and you take b minus a to the bottom. Now we are going to have ab over b minus a. Now look at it, c over 1 is on top, which means c is equal to ab over b minus a, which is similar, ab over b minus a, to the previous one that you got. Provided you do same thing on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side. It will still be a quicker way and it will still be correct. Here it says make v the subject of the formula in this case. Now, when we're making v the subject of the formula, it's not difficult, but you can rewrite your formula like this. You are given k is equal to 30w v squared over 2g. Now, what you do is compare them, make it also a fraction. What are you doing? So that then you can do what we mean by cross multiplying. When you do cross multiplying, remember you're interested in v, so you can multiply 1 times 30wv. So you're going to have, it's 1 times 30w squared is equal to k times 2g. I'm just writing a 1, but the 1 does not change anything. It will remain as 30w squared. When you have done that, then which means 30w squared now is equal to 2kg, in which you divide by what you don't want. And in this case, you don't want 30w on the other side. Remember, our aim is to come up with v. When you cancel 30w, then you're going to have v squared is equal to 2kg over, the k was a big one, over 30w. Now, how do you get rid of the square in v? Now, you say v squared. To get rid of the square, remember, you put a square root. What you do on the left again, you do on the right. It will be 2kg over 30w. This then, the square root will get rid of the square. You are going to have now your final answer. V is equal to 2kg over 30w. You have made v the subject of the formula. Moving on to the next one, it says make a the subject of the formula in this case. If you look at this now, if you study it carefully, you see that a is inside a square root. If I rewrite it, it says h is equal to square root of a squared over 4 plus h squared. Now, you can see that they are inside a square root, and the first thing you need to do is to get rid of that square root. How do you get rid of the square root? You are going to say h squared is equal to a squared over 4 plus h squared. You also square both sides. When you are squaring both sides, you are getting rid of the square root. Remember, when you get rid of a square, you must square it. When you get rid of a square root, you must square. So when you have done that, you are going to have now h squared, because we squared on that side. Now the square root has fallen off. It's a squared over 4 plus the small h squared. Remember, our aim is to solve a. I can take this h to come and join the other h. It is going to be h squared, the bigger one, minus h squared, the small one, is equal to a squared over 4. Now, when I've done that, remember I'm interested in a squared. What I can do is, this 4 below a is the one that is affecting me, so I can multiply both sides of the equal sign by 4. What am I saying? I will say 4 times h squared minus h squared is equal to a squared over 4 also times 4. What I do on the left, I do on the right. Why did I multiply by 4? Because I want to get rid of that 4. But the moment I want to get rid of it, it automatically means I must multiply that side by 4. Or alternatively, you could have said over 1 and you cross multiply. These are different methods, but it will give you the same answer. You can say this one over 1, and then after that, you cross multiply, you cross multiply. It's a simpler way or similar way. It will still give you the same answer. When you have done that, now we are going to have, this is written, I'm going to start with a, so I'll use this arrow to show that now I'm starting with a. A squared is equal to 4 h squared minus h squared. I've just started with a now. How to get rid of the square in a? You square root, remember, is equal to square root of 4 h squared minus h squared. Therefore, a is equal to square root of 4 h squared minus h squared. That's how you solve this one. Now, let us look on to the next problem. Now, when you're given this kind of problem, it says make, I think here they want to say make h, it's a mistake, make h the subject of the formula. I'm not going to finish this one, but here the trick, it's similar to the other ones that we've been doing, but the trick that you need to do is, because they want h there, you first have to divide everything by 4. So you're going to have x plus y over 4 is equal to square root of x squared plus 4h squared. Then after that, what you do, you square. After that, what you do, you square. Then you're going to have x plus y over 4 squared. Then becoming x squared plus 4h squared. You take x squared to the other side, you divide by 4, you square root, and then you solve that one. Now let's look at this one. It says, make n the subject of the formula and calculate the value of n if p is equal to 2000, v is equal to 0,48, and that. So here, the first thing when they give you that is to make n the subject of the formula. Now we are given p vn is equal to c. I want you to pay attention to this one because they like it a lot. It involves logarithms. So the first thing is, you can see n is only affecting v, not p, because there is no bracket. So you can divide by p. You divide by p. What are you going to have? V to the power n is c over p. When you're given that, you introduce, as long as the what you want is a power, like that n, you introduce logs, c over p. That's how you solve this particular n. When it is a power, you introduce logs. When you have introduced logs, now what you do, remember in logarithms, whenever you've got an n as a power, this n can drop to become there. You have got n log v is equal to log c over p. When you have done that, now you divide both sides by log v. You divide both sides by log v. We are going to have now n is equal to log c over p over log v. So then that will be the particular answer that you get log. Now you have to then substitute what you're given. Now remember that they gave you the values of p, c and v. So now what you're going to do is n is equal to log, where they see it's 18,3 over p, which is 2000, divided by log 0,48. And then you can now use a calculator, you can get the answer. Alternatively, those who still remember logs, if you're given like this, you can say n is equal to log c over p to base v. Those who still remember this, when v is at the bottom, it can become base. So you're going to have n is equal to log in base of 0.48 of c. What is c? 18.3 over 2000. Whatever way, it will give you the same answer, and the answer is, then when you simplify that, you get n is equal to 6,395. Another problem that you can be given is, they can say given y is equal to ax to the power r, and then they can say find r. Remember, it's the same thing where you divide by a on both sides, because r there is a power. It means you're going to introduce logs, hence you're going to have x to the power r is equal to y over a. Then you introduce your logs, and then you substitute like in the previous example. Now we have come to the end of our lesson. If you can go backward and redo them, I know it was a bit fast, then you'll be able to follow up and understand this particular change of subject of formula, as it is very, very important. Thank you.